What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, representing for analysisplayeron.com, coming to y'all with a new video. We're going to talk about the 1-6 Toronto Raptors. Absolutely terrible. I had this team falling off this season, but I did not know they would look as bad as they do. Last year, everybody thought the Raptors was a surprise team. Everybody thought they'd be great. Everybody thought they'd be okay. But I was one of the people that I thought that the Raptors would finish within the top three in the Eastern Conference before the season started, and it ended up happening last season. But I was also the person that said they wasn't going to be as good as they was last year this season. And right now they're proving it. The bad part about the Raptors is the start that they have got off to. Out of 7 games, they only won one. And remember, this is a shortened season, so these bad starts do make it tough to get back in. This team will have to go on a 3-4 game win streak just to have a chance to get back in that top 8. And even then, they may be so far behind that they still might even not even be in the top 8 at that point. So, they got to figure this out quick because, if you can't get a groove going, you can't get any chemistry going. Even when Siakam goes for 30 last night, they still lose the game. And he hasn't been the same. He's been struggling with his mentality. He used to be attacking and trying to finish and trying to be aggressive. Now he's passive, and now he's looking more or less to depend on the perimeter guys. My biggest problem with this team was their size. I didn't like the Lowry, Fran VanVleet backcourt because they're so small. I feel like they got exposed to that in the playoffs. Teams do it the double teams and the traps, and Van Fleet and them just struggled to get to the basket and get easy shots. They had to work for every bucket that they could get, and that's not healthy offense. You can't rely on that if you want to make it far in the league. And if OG is not going to be able to create a shot, if he's not going to be able to do anything, it is up to Siakam and Van Fleet and Lowry to score a majority, or if not all of the points. And those guys are just not that. Van Fleet is not a 25-point scorer. Neither is Kyle Lowry, and they never have been. And that's what the Raptors basically need them to do if they want to compete at the NBA level, because they lost their defense. Serge Ibaka is gone. Marc Gasol is gone. And Siakam, he started falling off last year, and it just tapered into this career. And he's going to have to be a 23, 24, 25-point scorer if this team wants to compete every night and have a chance to win games. You can't depend on Lowry and Van Fleet to do it. You just can't do it, and they haven't been able to do it because that's just not their game. They're guys that manage the game. They run the system. They set up guys, and they attack when they have the openings and when they have the space. And they just don't have either one of those things right now because Siakam can't hit a shot, and other guys on this team just can't hit a shot. And if they're going to be the ones that's primarily trying to score, that's not healthy. That's not healthy for winning, because that's just not who they are, and they're not capable of doing that, and they never have been. And to me, it's kind of crazy to see the Raptors struggle like this. You think that they have Nick Nurse, and he should be able to find out enough about the opponent to give them that upper hand and that advantage for them to still have a good chance of winning, and they just can't make anything. They just can't consistently score. They can't consistently get stops. And if you can't score enough points or you can't get enough stops, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. And their offense and their defense just not as good as it was the last 2 years prior. And that should happen because they did lose a lot of elite level talent and some great role players. But they should have at least been able to figure it out enough to be smart enough to steal and win games. But I'm not giving up on the Toronto Raptors just yet. We know who Masai is. If he sees somebody out there, or if he sees that this not working within, 20 games, he's going to make some changes, whether the Raptor fans agree with it or not, or the Raptor fans not going to like some of the changes, because I heard a lot of people saying that they should get rid of Big Kyle Lowry, and he's a legend. He might be the greatest Raptor of all time, but it's a business. We need to win. That's my job as Usai. That's my job as Nick Nurse. We're getting judged on winning. We're getting judged on results. And the result right now is they just don't have enough to compete every night with teams. The NBA is getting tougher. The NBA is getting better. And I feel like the Raptors got worse the last 2 years and it's catching up to them now. And it was going to happen eventually. And now it's up to Nick Nurse to figure out what works, what don't work, what lineups work and what don't work, and if we have to play guys even more minutes for us to compete, and that will hurt them if they make it to the playoffs because those guys are older and they be ran into the ground. But is that, or people going to lose faith in you and people not going to believe you and they're going to start criticizing you if you don't get the results or wins? And same with Yesai, if he keeps his team together and they continue to struggle, people going to start looking at him. Why is he not doing this? Why? What do they have to do? Because it's all about winning. And the Raptors are just not getting that done right now. And now they have to figure out how to get on the same page with their players. It was good to see Siakam have a good game. It was good to see him be efficient, be confident, and go back to being aggressive. But at the same time, will that be enough? Siakam is going to get you some points just because they need somebody to help, and he's going to have the opportunity. But will he be able to do it efficiently? Will he be able to do it consistently? And honestly, he wasn't even able to do that for 3 months last year. Even though he was an All-Star and All-NBA player, the league figured him out. They figured out how to get in his head. They figured out how to defend him, and they figured out his game. He hasn't added, he hasn't adjusted, and he hasn't took his game to another level. And now he's just another player. He looks like a third option right now. If I had to be honest, and that can't be happening when you're paying a man over $30 million, and you felt last year that you guys had a roster that can compete and be contenders in the East, which they had they was in a conversation for that. But like I said, too, you have to look at the fact, how can we fix it? How can we get this team to where they need to be? And to me, they still, if they win 3-4 games, like I said, in a row, they'll be back in the mix of it. But this team isn't a contender. Even if they start figuring it out, even if guys start to play better, this team, at best, is a top 6 team in the East and a first or a second round exit. And where can they go from here? If that should be the question starting this season. Where can we go? Who can we get? And what can we do to get back to that contender status that they are no longer a part of, in my personal opinion? And I'm not just saying that because they're 1-6. I said that before the season started, and they proved that I was right now. They just don't have enough. They just don't. And it's not too many guys out here that can come in and fill that scoring void and help them win at an elite level. There's some guys that might be available right now, but will they want to stay? A lot of people say they don't want to stay in Toronto. They don't like living in Toronto and the things that come with being a player in Toronto. But they're going to have to figure it out because the results don't look good and the play don't look good. And when I'm watching a lot of these Raptor games, their defense is just nowhere near where it was last year, and they just can't get enough. They need a guy that can get buckets at the wing or at the guard position. I like OG, but he's not ready right now. I like Siakam, and even if he plays better, he's not that guy. And we know that. And he proved that last year, even in the bubble. But, some of these guys you still do need, because if you bring in another player, they go back to what they need to be and what they are. And it makes things a lot easier for them. And then next thing you know, you have a great team again. So to me, if I'm a Raptor fan, I'd be mad, I'd be frustrated, and I really don't see them finding a way to get back to where they was the last couple of seasons. They just don't have the talent. They just don't have it now. But at the same time, they still do have some really interesting guys. They still do have a great coach, and they're a piece away from being back in the conversation. It just, what will they have to give up? What will they have to do? And will it be enough for them to be a championship team again? And that will be the question, now, honestly and truthfully, we have to wait and see to see what Yesai has in the back of his pocket. Because he looks at this team and he's looking at how they're playing, and he should be able to have a list of players that he has that if he gives up the right guys, if he moves the right guys, that get him over the hump. But it would be kind of crazy to trade Kyle Lowry, a guy that's been there, has turned it around. Seemed to been there for the ups and the downs, and even at the highest point, which is a championship, he's been there. And now people are putting him on the trade block, which you would have never thought 3 years ago. But they did trade DeMar DeRozan. It wasn't popular. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people didn't agree with it. They even heard it, DeMar, that they did it. But this is a business. They have to do their job. They have to look, in their perspective of what they have to do to keep their security. And, it might not be a popular move to the people, or it may not be a move that they might want to do, but it's all about results, and the results is getting W's. And they're not accomplishing that right now. So now we have to see what they're going to do to get back on the winning side. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that clicks the link and check that out and likes. Also, you can buy merchandise just like this. You can buy hats. You can buy shirts. You can customize the hat and the shirt the way you want it to be. Pick the logo and customize them how you want them to be. Message me and get them shipped out to you. You can also buy merchandise on my spread shirt. That will also be in the description in the comment section below. So check out my spread shirt. If you don't want to buy no merchandise, you can still support the channel by liking and sharing. Liking and sharing allows this channel to be reached and seen by more people. So that's another way you can help the channel grow if you don't want to buy no merchandise. But not only that, I make videos every single day, whether it's breakdowns of players, legends, rookies, or even summer league coverage, draft coverage, even summer league breakdowns. Also, top 10 lists, free agency, season previews, playoff predictions, and discussions about the hottest topics and discussions in general about basketball. Also, feel free to comment. I read every single comment, so don't be afraid to do that. And other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about the Raptors, what they should do, who they should trade, who they should get. And whatever you think about them, I'm willing to see it and hear it. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone, and enjoy the rest of y'all day.